This is my camera bag, which I made last year as part of a school project, with the intention of it being the best camera bag ever. So, how would I be able to do that? Well, it's actually quite simple, because most camera bags in the industry kind of suck. And it's not that they're bad at every single feature, it's just that they're really good at one certain feature, but with that really good feature comes with a corresponding flaw. So say for example, a camera bag could be really good at accessing gear, but along with that, they might not be able to organize that gear, and vice versa. They could be really good at organizing gear, but really bad at accessing it. With this camera bag, I attempt to solve that paradox. So once you open up the bag, you're greeted to your quick access pocket, where you can store your small bits like your phone, your keys, like, you know, whatever can fit in this pocket. I mean, right now the zip is kind of broken, but like, you kind of understand the concept. So anyway, once you remove this flap, you find yourself, I gotta take off my jumper for this because it kind of blends in with my jumper. You won't be able to see it. You see, what I discovered is that 90% of the gear you carry around 24/7 can honestly fit into a bag like this. Like, you don't need anything more than that. And a sling bag is actually really good because it's out of the way whenever you need it, but whenever you want to access gear like really quickly, you can just sling it around, zip it open, and you got your gear ready to go. I feel like just the idea of simplicity, that's what this bag is all about. And I feel like you shouldn't overcomplicate things. So yeah, that's exactly why I made this bag, just for simplicity. To not overwhelm yourself with a bunch of gear. Pretty much just whenever you go out, all you really need is this bag, like most of the time. So once you open up the rest of the bag, we have ourselves this big, nice box storage system, which is kind of copying the box system of the Peter McKinnon camera bag, but this will be able to accommodate large lenses, large cameras, pretty much large pieces of camera gear, and you can move it around even. So maybe you want to just have like the entire box, or maybe just a small section. Like, you can just remove this box entirely and just have this bag. And as for the rest of the bag, you got yourself like a significant amount of pockets. Like all these green slips, they're actually like little pockets. So like one right here, 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 one right here. So you actually have a lot of options. If I were to mass produce this bag, I'd probably put zippers on them, but once again, you can see the concept. This camera bag also has a laptop sleeve in it. That's used out of that one material. I forgot what it's called, but it's the material used in like wetsuits and stuff. So that's like super waterproof for your computer. It's also actually the same material some laptop cases actually use. Wait, there's one more thing. There's also, whoa, it's getting caught in my microphone. There's also this tripod / water bottle holder. So you can, you know, harness on your tripod like this or your water bottle like this, and it will slip into this little thing as well. So maybe not the whole tripod could fit in there, but this will stop it from falling. Like, you can put one leg in there and then hang the other two off. So there's also that storage space as well. I swear there's no more storage spaces. Okay. So these felt boxes are actually a bit more cooler than you might think. As I just said, they are made out of felt, so it's actually quite a sturdy yet very protected material. So there's padding along with actual like strength to it. You see, what triggers me about these other choices of materials is that they all seem either quite sturdy or either too soft, so it's actually not as sturdy. Felt is actually a really good balance between that ratio. So that's why I created these boxes out of felt. These boxes also have these slings as well. You see, with other forms of box storage systems, it's much more likely to be thrown around. So that's why these slings are in place. And you can actually loosen and tighten them if you want to. And once again, you still also have the option to, like, you know, change up your sections. So, I put a lot of thought into this next feature because I feel like it's probably the most essential feature you need in a camera bag. So basically, the idea of dropping your bag, switching the lens on your camera, unzipping your bag, putting everything back together, that pretty much takes around like 2 minutes. By the time you've done all that, let's say you wanted to take a photo of a sunset and you wanted to switch your lens, the sunset would have been gone by then. So that's why time is so important. So I figured out a way to minimize that time. So I'll demonstrate by switching the lens on my Canon camera. For some reason, I'm gonna wanna switch to a macro lens, but this is just a hypothetical. So, what would I do? Well, I would go like so. Unzip where you would find your storage for your lenses. You would grab your macro lens and you would take the lens cap off and put it in the green sleeve I showed you earlier as like a temporary storage system. You would get the prime lens, remove it, and you would put the new lens on. Okay, I sort of took a long time to put the lens on. That's sort of a me problem. Put the lens cap back on onto the prime lens. You put it in the storage system. And then you have a switched lens. This is just the concept. This is still a concept, but I feel like that's sort of how it would look. I should mention that this camera bag is also quite modular. You don't necessarily have to have the felt boxes or even the sling bag. You could remove them entirely and put other stuff inside it. You might not need these felt boxes, you might not need this sling bag. Or you could just have the felt boxes and then have your own like little bag on top. Or maybe if you're traveling, put some clothes in there and then put the sling bag on top. So the camera bag is quite modular. Okay, so this camera bag, pretty much the outer material of this camera bag is PVC coated. I don't actually know what the material is. It might be nylon or something like that. Anyway, making it, well, waterproof. Man, I'm thirsty. This camera bag has a waist strap that can sort of distribute the weight if you're carrying something a bit heavier, like this really massive camera along with its big massive lenses. Like you might need a waist strap to, you know, distribute that weight. Along with these straps, they're also quite ergonomic. What else did I write down? It's durable, yes. So this PVC coated nylon or whatever it is on the outer material, it's also quite durable. So as well as it being waterproof, it can withstand quite a few. And finally, another favorite feature of mine, the camera bag can stand up. That's also quite important in a camera bag because you don't want it lying over like that. That's pretty lame. So those were all the features. You might be wondering what this logo might mean. Well, it stands for TTP, which could be interpreted in two ways, Terrible Tech Pioneers or Tully's Tech Products. But you can pick between the two, I don't really care. I think both of them are pretty cool names, and I think it's a pretty cool acronym. So that's why I picked TTP. So I'm actually quite happy I was able to show you guys my creative endeavors. This wasn't just a simple school project, like it was a major work and it was like marked to my final grade. So I actually put a lot of thought into this camera bag, and for a while I've just been meaning to show you guys because I love showing my creative endeavors. So you may or may not be wondering, what's the next step? Am I gonna start mass producing these bags? Am I gonna move on with my life? Well, honestly, it depends, because if this video gets traction, I might consider producing multiple versions of it, and I genuinely don't know how to do that. So if someone has any expertise in that, hit me up on Instagram. The link is down below, because I have no expertise in mass producing literally anything. It's only if anyone else is really interested in this camera bag, because I'm not really gonna bother if no one is, you know, interested. I guess we'll have to see. So I guess that's everything, and I'll see you in the next one. Also, be sure to watch a recommended video, because that would really help me out. And maybe while you're at it, consider subscribing, because that would also help me out. I'm just dragging this out because you haven't clicked on this video yet. Maybe you should. All right. How have you not